What is up, YouTube family? Welcome back to the channel. Today's video, as you can see, we're working on the heavy Chevy. We got some things we're going to do to it, and I want to have a little discussion with you guys, as you know, show you some things, and we're just going to have a little talk. So let's roll to the intro and let's get this video going. Get in the car like this and smile, there's something wrong with you. And welcome back to the channel. Glad each and every one of you stopped by. If you've not subscribed yet, go down there and hit that subscribe button before this video even starts. We are working on the 2016 Silverado. Now I'm going to do a little bit of paint correction. I'm going to start on the tailgate first, just more or less to kind of show you guys what's going on and what and how to do it. It's not really that bad. It sounds worse than what it is. When you say paint correction, a lot of people say, oh, I'm not doing that. Now, especially if there's sandpaper involved. In this particular case, there is going to be sandpaper involved, but I'll walk you through it. It'll be okay. Just breathe, I promise. And I don't know if the GoPro will pull it up or not, but there are some very fine, not really in the clear scratches. Now when you got something like that, sometimes you can buff them out. I have tried buffing those before and they will not buff out. So it is in the clear a little bit, but it's not scratched. So something like that you can get out. You will have to wet sand though. If you've buffed and you can't get it, then you are going to have to do some wet sanding. Let's see, there was some spots around in here a little bit. And I believe most of them were up in here. You can see some, or I can, the camera probably ain't picking it up, but there's some fine, it looks like rub marks more than anything through here. As you can see here, I've got an assortment of sandpapers, anywhere from 240 on up to, like, I believe 2,500. I may even have 3,000 grit in here. I'm not 100% sure. I got this off of the Amazon, the Jungle website. They was having a great deal, so I thought, why not? You know, I need sandpaper. You can always use sandpaper, so it's not a bad thing to have. But anyways, I'm going to start out. We have, well, like I said, I think 240 up to like 3,000. I'm going to personally start out with 2,000 grit. If you don't know how sandpaper works, if this is your first time wet sanding a car, 240 is like the roughest, toughest sandpaper there is. You don't want to use that. Matter of fact, you want to, in my opinion, you want to skip completely all of that until 1,000. 1,000 grit, if you know, depending on your paint, is where you want to start at. But keep in mind now, the lower the number, the rougher the texture is going to be of the sandpaper. So you're going to take off a lot of material with 240. You're going to take off a lot of material with 400. But as you go up, it takes off less material. Now, in order to keep the sand scratches and everything down, that's why I'm saying 2,000 grit for myself. It's really fine. It's kind of like the old saying, you measure twice and cut once. Well, you can't put this paint back once you sand it off. I mean, well, you can, but it's going to cost you. So I want to take off as less as I can for now, just for these scratches. If I need to take off more, I'll drop it down to 1,500. See what I'm saying? So we're going to start with 2,000 grit and just work our way from there and see what happens. Make sure you have water, a water hose, water outlet, some way. I like the wet sand. I want to keep everything great and wet. It don't have to be saturated, but you do want it wet enough to where you're not, it glides easy. You know, I've also used, instead of water, I have used glass cleaner. This spray away glass cleaner is great for that. I've also used the Meguiar's waterless. It works well too. Anything that's going to give a good lubrication, we're right on that spot where I said the scratches was. We're going to start right there on that. So I'm going to Go ahead and saturate the whole area that I'm working on. Get my sandpaper good and wet as well. And what I like to do is, if I'm holding something like this, I like to just hold it right there and just sand in the area that I'm working on. You don't want to do circular motions. You don't want to do any of that. You want to do in straight lines. Now, as you can see, this is in a body line. There's a body line here. There's a body line here and here. You want to stay wherever the scratch is at. You don't want to try to stay on that body line, because listen, if you get on that body line, usually the body line is where there is less paint, and it will go through quicker in those areas than it will here. So if you start rubbing on this like this, and then all of a sudden this starts wearing through before this does, you're eventually going to have a wear spot through here, and it's going to be a mess. You're going to have to go through then and have your whole project's going to have to be repainted or refinished. Seen there was some fine scratches all through here, so I'm just going to get this whole area. Now, if you'll notice, it looks like milk. Once you start sanding, it looks like milk running down. Wet sanding's a messy process. You're going to have a big cleanup afterwards, but the final product is going to be worth it. So now, a lot of times, if you have ceramic coating done, they will go through with their clay bar. They'll clay bar everything and then go that direction. If your car has heavy scratches, they'll go through, or they should go through and wet sand and do this whole process. That is the reason why ceramic coating and all that costs so much. Not only does it protect your paint, but there's a lot of work involved in this. Could you imagine trying to wet sand this whole truck here for nothing? I mean, that's why they charge so much. This right here is just soapy water. I'm wiping down the residue, going to spray it off, let it dry, and then we'll take a look at it. Okay, so we've sanded majority of the tailgate that I wanted to sand, pretty much the whole tailgate. I was only going to do this, but decided to do the whole tailgate. At this point, after I've made sure that I've gotten everything that I want, I go back through with a soapy rag and wash it down real good, make sure to get all the contaminants off of it and rinse it off. At this point, after it dries, dry it with a towel. When you look at it, you're going to freak out. This is when a lot of people lose their mind. Oh my gosh, I thought this was all there was to it. I thought, no. You've got other steps to go after this. It looks rough, guys, but the scratches that was up here are gone. Yes, you've got many other scratches, but we're getting ready to take care of those. That scratch that was up in here is gone. But, I mean, I've got sand scratches all in the paint now. You got to buff. You have to buff. No matter what, after you sand, you have to buff. That's what gives you that brilliant show car shine. So you're going to ask next, what do I use then? You're saying I have to buff. What do I have to use? I go to Griots. Griots has got some of the best waxes and stuff there are out there, in my opinion. So these, if I've got something rough, these are my go-to. Since this has already been used for this truck, it's already got wax in there, but it's been a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and rub this back in. Make sure it's well lubricated once again. And all that will do was reactivate what's already in here. Sorry, I hate to interrupt the video, but the next step did not record. What you do after this is do the exact same thing. Put those same 5 or 6 dots back on your pad, but do not rub them in. Just get ready to actually put the pad onto the vehicle. Turn this on about 2.5. I'm gonna go over here and do, well, let's get my cord over my shoulder first so I'm not tripping over everything. And we're gonna do little blotches, and what that does is it keeps from slinging that wax everywhere. So it spreads it out really good. And then we're gonna start. Start out, put the blotches on there, make sure it spreads out evenly. Then, once you get that going, start on 2. That's generally the slowest speed. Work it in. And just go back and forth. Make sure to doing a half of an overlay. When you make a pass, go down half of your pad, make another pass. Half, another pass, half, and just do that zigzag motion. Make sure to get it spread out evenly and good. At that point, once you're pretty sure that you've got it even and it's good, click her up a little bit. Go up to about 4, 4.5. Come back across and then do it up and down. Still up and down, but still crossing with 50% of the pad coming back. Do that. Just keep working back and forth and up and down. Cross hatching. And what that'll give you will be this right here. Let this set up, let it haze over, come over, I don't know, when you feel like it's ready, and wipe her down and see what your results are. Let's get your shine on, boys. That's what I'm talking about. Looky, looky. Looks like I just laid some fresh paint on this bad girl, but no, I did not. That's what wet sanding does, guys. It brings all those imperfections out and then gives you that crystal clear paint. You don't get that good of a, they just slap the paint on in the factory. They're not they're not trying to win show cars. They're just trying to sell you a car, and that's all they're doing. If you really want your paint to pop, do some wet sanding to it. Yes, it's time consuming. I'm not going to lie to you. It takes some time. It's aggravation. But I'm telling you, the end result is well worth griots. The one with severe paint defects and the one with moderate paint defects. What you got right here has not even been polished. So, I mean, if I decided to go ahead and put the polish on it, it would pop even more. So it looks amazing. I'm very, very pleased with it. I don't know. I'm probably going to finish the rest of the truck. Thinking about selling the truck. I don't know. I've got some ideas for some future projects, and if I sold the truck, I could actually fund some of those projects. But the thing is, that was my dad's truck, and as many of you know, my dad passed away a couple of years ago, so it's one of those hard things, you don't really know if you want to or not. I don't drive it. It just sits here. Anyways, guys, that's just an idea I'm throwing out there. You guys put down in the comment section, what do you think? Should I sell it? Should I hold on to it? Would you guys like to see different projects going on around here? Should we try to do something with the truck, something different? What? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Put it down in the comment section and we'll see what happens. That's all I've got for you. Hope you enjoyed that video. Until next time, guys, you know the deal. Like always, like, share, and subscribe. Go tell a friend, tell your loved one, tell anybody. Stop here at Bad LSX Garage and say what's up. Anyways, guys, peace. I'm out.